Welcome, I hope you're well. I'm Dab88 and this is a Just Cause 2 speedrun. We're going to start a new game and we're going to race to Mr. Snowman as fast as possible. However, in order to do that we need to finish a couple of missions before the map will open up and we'll be allowed to free roam. And before we even get to the missions, we've got an unskippable cutscene for your pleasure. This takes a couple of minutes at the beginning of every run. Imagine what it's like to do the run over and over and over again and have to sit through this. It's awful. So I ritually take the piss out of this entire cutscene from this very first gentle embrace from Maria, which Rico doesn't really like, so he crosses his arms, to Marshall, who's the black guy on the right hand side who literally gets one line before he's unceremoniously dispatched from the entire game. Or, well, maybe. We'll find out later. Anyway, so one thing I have noticed about this helicopter is, have you noticed how many rivets there are in this helicopter? It is literally made of rivets. I don't know if that's legit how they make helicopters, but it seems like an awful lot. I don't know if the texture department went a little bit overboard there. So yeah, what we've got to do in this speedrun is we've got to race to Mr. Snowman as fast as possible. And the best way to do that is to get an aeroplane and fly there. But to get an aeroplane we need money. And to get money you need to collect stuff and destroy stuff. So we're going to be combining all of that into the first mission and trying to collect up some money. Just like Rico's collected up Maria there. Pulls her inside. Unfortunately, Maria's the only one who gets saved here. Because Marshall falls, but Rico ain't catching him. Running out of ammo, Rico. Is that a premonition?
Marshall is dead, but he's still got your PDA. Catch up with him before he crashes into the ground.
Marshall's dead, eh? Well, we'll try and remember that. Anyway, we've got to dive down and we've got to try and catch up with him to collect the PDA. There's another cutscene here. We're going to skip that and then on to the next dive. Skydive down to the landing area. We've got to parachute out at about, what, 600 meters or something? I think you can make this slightly quicker if you optimize your dive. But we're talking fractions of a second. So this is the first mission. Welcome to Penal. We've got to collect 5 memory cards throughout this base and then hitch a ride on Maria's helicopter to leave. But we're going to do a couple other things while we're here. We're also going to be collecting all of the collectibles and destroying all of the destructibles. And that way we're going to complete the base, get a little bit of a bonus, and that's going to help us accumulate enough cash to buy a jet. So this particular run is all about fast movement. You've got to be really quick with everything. This is the kind of crux area of this mission, is this whole destroying stuff. You've got to be so quick and aiming at everything. I'm actually using a PlayStation 4 controller, so if you think it's slow, like, I don't know, get yourself a keyboard and mouse and do it quicker. I'd quite like to see that, because it can definitely be done quicker. The good news about this run is, unlike the previous one where we wasted a minute aiming at this stupid fuel depot, instead we get it pretty much straight away. We get the next one and then we're going to flip around, destroy some radars, and we're almost done for the AA gun. And this has actually been quite efficient. I have done this particular AA gun part quicker, but other parts of the run have fallen to pieces, and I don't know if you've done any speedruns before, but getting everything perfect is, well, that's something to aim for rather than something to do. So I've had to take a different route here because I'm using a controller as opposed to a mouse and keyboard. Running through the tunnel is normally what you would do, and there's a few guys there. Unfortunately, when you have a controller, the auto lock grapple just locks onto characters and you can't get through quickly. If you've got a mouse and a keyboard, you can aim at something in between the characters and just grapple through them all, but unfortunately I don't have that option. Anyway, we've got to shoot this soldier, get one of the last memory cards, shoot them in the face with an SMG. We're going to hook up here and get one of the last collectibles. There's only a couple more to get, I think. And then zooming off to the helicopter. We're not going to grapple the chopper, obviously. We're much faster than Maria, so we're just going to skim over the top. Hook onto this, what are they called again? Ski lift? Yeah. Hook onto the ski lift and then fly over to the bridge for the final memory card. And then this is where it gets a little bit interesting. The final section of this mission requires us to destroy 2 SAM sites, and that's going to allow Maria to come down in her helicopter and save the day. However, in order to destroy those SAM sites, we need some explosives, or at least that's what Maria thinks. Instead, we're just going to steal this minigun, walk up the ramp, and use it to destroy the SAM sites and the rest of the destructibles in the base. From the statues, to those little antenna things, to the silos. There's also one silo behind us on the opposite side. We're going to destroy that, and then we're going to aim towards the garage and destroy the next jeep that would normally get dispatched, and then straight afterwards the APC. If you're quick and you're lucky, that APC will get destroyed in the garage because the jeep will be destroyed in there, and I think they spawn on top of each other. So it's a really quick way of killing them. But anyway, we've managed to destroy everything. We've got one more collectible to get around the other side of this SAM site. And then we're done. The only thing left to do is hook a ride on Maria's helicopter and get the hell out of here. Which we're going to do early. By reeling in, flying into the distance, and then trying to hook this helicopter as it flies by. Man, what I would give for some parachute thrusters there. And do you remember the black man who fell out of the helicopter? Well, look who's in the passenger seat now. Is that the passenger seat? Is that the flight seat? I don't know. But what the hell is Maria and Marshall doing back there? I don't know. Well, the good thing is it's not our concern and we've got a speedrun to do, so we're just going to ignore that and move onwards to the second mission, which is Casino Bust. Just skipped through those cutscenes and now we've got to traverse to the middle sort of plaza where there's a demolitions expert we've got to shoot in the face before we can continue. He's hiding. So we get this guy and then we've got to go and deactivate 2 charges at the top of these towers. We're going to use a cool sort of like grapple technique to release and travel directly upwards without going into skydive mode. It's really effective if you can get the hang of it. Got to disarm this. Got to collect the two-armed weapon? Yeah, the two-handed weapon. The assault rifle, because we've got the helicopter that we've got to shoot on the other side. I'm going to try and actually shoot the pilot out as opposed to just shooting the helicopter. So second charge. God, I'm so slow at this. And then we've got the helicopter dude that we've got to try and shoot out. Got to try and make up some of that lost time. Got to get this pilot. So we'll turn side on, and that's your opportunity to shoot the pilot. We managed to get it first time. So into the walkway, which is the next requirement of the mission. A couple of cutscenes that we're skipping past. And then the final part of the mission, which is escorting Carl Blaine to... I don't know where we're escorting him to, actually. I will skip it. We're escorting him across Panal. I do not know the location of our destination. But it's a long trip. And we're going to ride surfing on top of this Jeep. I don't know what you'd call it. Some old Wrangler thing. Anyway, what we've got to do is we've got to shoot all the oncoming traffic, which is actually brilliant. This is probably one of the most fun missions, and it gives us an opportunity to actually shoot out some tyres on some enemy vehicles, which makes them tumble and explode. Which is, I'm not even kidding, like, if you've not played this game, go and play it, because these opening missions are hilarious and fun. And shooting out the tyres on these vehicles is just the best fun ever. Look at them tumble and explode. I honestly wish there was more of them. It would be great fun to have, like, 50 chasing you and you just be shooting all the tires and watching them ram into each other and explode. Instead, we're playing it on casual, so we've got like one at a time. I mean, I don't want to sound greedy, but it's not enough, is it? We want more. We want more. And we definitely want more on this mission because, well, actually maybe not. It would make the speedrun a bit harder, so maybe not. Anyway, I digress, mainly because there isn't much to talk about here. Look, we're driving down an empty stretch of road doing nothing. Occasionally sniping out a tyre from like 500 yards. But look, we've got like the Terminator coming at us. This dude is like breaking the speed limit to reach us. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. And there he goes. He had no chance. Does anybody have any chance against Rico Rodriguez? I don't think so. Well, especially not on casual mode. I don't think the enemies even try and kill you on casual mode. I think once you get down to a low health, they just leave you alone. Not exactly sure why I'm taking down that statue. I always kind of freak out at this stage that I don't have enough money, even though I've done it several times and you always have enough money. As long as you completely clear the first base and you complete the next two missions, you'll accumulate enough without having to do extra stuff. But sometimes that extra stuff just makes things feel a little bit safer. Something that the Panam military don't have. Safety. Because Rico Rodriguez is on the loose in Panau. One thing people seem to forget is that there's actually radio stations in this one, or there's radio announcements in this. They're just not announced by David Tennant, so everyone seems to forget. But they do a similar thing where they kind of mock Panau and the authoritative regime. But I guess that's the acting talents of David Tennant and the superlatives of a Scottish accent. Oh, I forgot to mention this. In car chases, you can climb all around cars, or certain cars, and it's so much fun. I've obviously not used it here because it's a speedrun and you don't really need to do that, but it does make for some exciting action. So if you've got some spare pennies and you see Just Cause on sale, Just Cause 2, I'd recommend picking it up, especially if you've never played it before. Aspects of it have certainly aged, but the gameplay is fun, and there's no question about that. There's just little things about it that don't really fit into modern day gaming as much as it did back in 2010. Quick time events mainly. Every time you want to get into a vehicle. I'm exaggerating a little, because that only happens when you want to hijack a helicopter, but I'm pretty glad that they dispense with it in Just Cause 3 and 4. It just makes the flow of the game a little bit more bearable. Like unskippable cutscenes or unskippable dialogue, or dialogue that stops you from continuing to do the thing you want to do. Yeah, that kind of unbearable stuff. Anyway, we're ordering a plane because we're going to fly straight to Mr. Snowman now that dialogue is finished. We've got to try and take off in this makeshift airstrip, which is just really a road. It's not very good and it is very sketchy, and I have crashed on takeoff a couple of times, so we're not going to take that for granted. And we've got one final challenge ahead of us, and that's exiting out of the plane at the right time so that we fall in close proximity to Mr. Snowman without dying. And I stress that because I've been on world record pace a number of times and I've jumped out too late and I've died in the explosion of the plane hitting the roof. Oh, it's a nightmare. But this time we're gonna do it this time. So we're on pace to get actually a sub 15-minute run if we can get close to Mr. Snowman. Because just over this ridge here we'll see the ski resort, and at the end of the little sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, little crest, the peninsula there is a building, and the first building on the right hand side right here is what we're aiming for. We overshot. But we can hook back, and there we go. 14 minutes 50. So we've broke the 15-minute barrier, which has been my goal for the past couple of days. I've been practicing to get my muscle memory back up to scratch so that we can actually control Rico without falling over. And there we are. King of the Snowman. Raced Mr. Snowman, number 1. But for how long? That time is absolutely beatable. Even just executing this run better would result in a better time. What if new strategies were revealed, or different routes? Who knows what's possible? How fast can you go?